This video will show you how to add feedback to your Moodle quizzes. So the first step here, I've got a brief quiz on my Moodle course page here. So I'm going to click the link to the quiz, and I'm going to scroll over to the right here and find the quiz administration block, and I'm going to go over here to edit quiz. And so now I'm on the edit quiz page, and I want to add some feedback over here to question number 3. So when the students finish the quiz, I'm going to configure this so that they can see the feedback to the questions. So I'm going to start by adding some feedback to question number 3 here. And so I'm going to click the gear here next to the question. So let me go into edit mode for that particular question. Okay, so here's the text of the question. Down below are the multiple choice answers that have been listed, and right here, this field right here is general feedback. This is what I'm going to use. Another option also is there is a place for you to input individual feedback depending on the answer that the student chooses. But for now, I'm just going to use more this general feedback that would kind of applies to the whole question, not just individual responses. So one option is I could type in the feedback here, input the instructions on what information they needed to properly answer this question. Another option is I could potentially upload a video or upload an image here to further explain or to give additional information to the student as to how to get to the correct answer. So in this case, I worked a solution out for this problem here, and I took a picture of it with my phone. So I'm going to upload a picture of the solution right here. So I'll type in solution, colon, and hit enter. And I want to put my solution down here. I'll make that a little bigger there. And I'm going to click this button right here. It's going to let me upload an image. So I'll click here. Find or upload an image, and I'm going to choose file. I think I've got it on my desktop here, solution 3. I'm going to click open, click upload this file. Okay, the image is probably kind of big here. I'm going to click insert, click OK. Okay, now I notice this image is probably a little too big to be displayed on this page properly, so one thing I can do, if I click this button right here, it'll let me go to full screen on this in editing mode here. I'm going to scroll down over here and see what we can do about this. I'm going to alright, oh, there we go. I've grabbed the corner here. I'm going to make this picture a little smaller, a little more workable here. And so there's my solution the students can take a look at. It was actually easier to write this out on a piece of paper, take a picture of it, than it would be to actually type in what the solution of this should look like. But alright, so I'm going to click that button. I'm back here. There's the solution the students can take a look at, and I'm going to go down here and hit Save Changes. So I might go through and input some feedback for each of these questions the students could look at when they're done with the quiz. But now I need to change the settings to the quiz so that they can see that feedback when they're done. So here's what I do. I'm going to go over here, and over here on the lower right, back to quiz administration, but instead of hitting edit quiz, I'm going to hit edit settings. Alright, and if I go down here to review options, I'm going to expand what I see under review options here, and these last 3 columns I'm going to select perhaps I want them to see their score for the question, so that's marks, and I want them to see the attempt. In this case, this is more of an instructional quiz, so it's okay if they see the actual text of the questions. And then I also want to see, of course, I want them to see if it's whether they're correct or not, but then I want them to see the general feedback, and I want them to see the right answer. But it's this general feedback is where I uploaded that image, or I could have typed in some additional information. But you particularly want to check off general feedback, so when they're done with their quiz, they'll be able to see general feedback. Over here you might ask, well, during attempt, you could create a quiz where they'll have a check answer button for each question. If I go up here to question behavior and change this from deferred feedback to immediate feedback, and then these options become possibilities here as well. And so that's another option to play with. But I'm just going to keep this on deferred feedback, so when they're done with the quiz, they're going to see the feedback for the questions they answered. And I'll go down here and hit save and display. So that's basically how you can input feedback for a single question and then configure the quiz to show that feedback after the student has submitted their quiz.